when the significant waves of immigration, of Irish and Scottish immigration, really started so this would be the early 19th century, so this after 1815. I mean, if you look at the population statistics, I was just looking at this the other day, Montreal in around 1800 was something like 9,000 people total, and by the 1850 or so, it was something like 50 or 60,000. I mean, there's a huge population explosion in the city, and a lot of that was immigration. With immigration from the British Isles, so Irish, Scottish, and also English. And what was it? I think by 1831, the majority of the population in Montreal claimed British Isles, claimed to be of a British Isles origin, as opposed to French Canadian. So, and musically, what was going on at that time? I mean, this was a period of time, the late 18th century and the early 19th century in Scotland, and also in Ireland, and in England, and in North America, was a period of time when certain dance forms were incredibly popular. Country dances, they're called country dances, or in French, confidence, or cotillon. And this was no counterculture. This was mainstream dance culture, and it was something that cut across classes. I mean, there would be the upper class, the bourgeois, and they would be going to their balls. But there were these same dances or versions of the same dances would also be popular in other social classes, and there was a repertoire that was composed for this dancing, and that repertoire is really at the basis of what we think of as traditional Scottish and Irish music. So if you go and you look at music that was being played in Ireland or in Scotland or in North America before, say, I don't know, the 1770s or so approximately, it's completely different. It's a completely different repertoire because it was for other types of dancing. And I mean, not to say there were no, you know, there's some repertoire that carried through, and there's some musical ideas that carried through. But if you look at the dance forms and the associated repertoire, there was a huge shift. I mean, one scholar I know in the States calls it the Fiddle Revolution. It was like fiddling and the associated dancing became hugely popular, and you find the same dances and the same repertoire across British Isles and across North America within a very short period of time. So a tune that would be composed, I can think of a few tunes just off the top of my head, a tune, you know, that was composed in Scotland, say around 1780, within 10 years, and a dance, and say with a few years later someone would write a country dance to that tune. A few years later, you find that same dance with the same tune being done in Montreal. This was not several generations of immigration. This was like an international. It was like a global. Well, not global, but it was I would say a North Atlantic cultural phenomenon. So.